Hi, this is Ms. Hepworth. This is information from the September 11th meet for my science classes. First, in the meet, I went over some feedback on the CRE paragraphs that were due. So I actually showed this example. And if you notice, the first sentence in this paragraph is the claim statement. They're exactly right of where it should be. And then if you look at the following sentences, these are all really good supporting pieces of evidence. So the fact that organic foods have higher amounts of vitamins, that they don't contain any pesticides, they define the harmful nature of pesticides, and then they have a nice reasoning sentence at the end that says these are examples showing why organic foods are much healthier. So take a look at this. Another thing that this paragraph is free from is first person pronouns. Anytime that you are writing in science, we just don't use them. So keep that in mind when you create other scientific explanations. Now we'll go on to our new topic of energy. All right, right now I'm actually on the PLP platform, the teacher's view, but I want to draw your attention to this folder. In your display, it should just be a heading called energy. Last year in science, we had several standards covering energy. This year, we have a single standard that discusses kinetic energy. So in this folder, I have provided some information just as a review. And this discusses energy, okay? It defines it as the ability to do work. It also gives some information on signs that something has energy. Okay, more specifically kinetic energy. So movement, sound, heat, and light are indicators that energy is present. Then this article shares that there are two types of energy, or two main, if you will, categories that energy can be divided into: kinetic energy and potential energy. Potential energy we won't really talk too much about, but kinetic energy we will be discussing, and kinetic energy is the energy of motion. This article has some good information. It does discuss the different types of potential energy, some types of kinetic energy. So it's just a good basic article that I want you to read. Take a look at that, take notes on new information. Following that text in the platform is actually some questions. So make sure, like I said before, take some good notes so that you can be successful in answering the questions. The next thing I'm going to show you on the platform is some additional resource material. Let's look at that. So this is on kinetic energy. So this resource is going to define it and show the kinetic energy formula, like math, science also have formulas where we have different variables. And so here it is displayed. KE, kinetic energy, is equal to half the mass times velocity squared. Velocity is much like speed, and it's a rate. Velocity considers direction. Speed, remember, is a given distance divided by time. So you think about miles per hour. And it talks about also the unit, okay, for energy, which is the joule. Okay, and you'll see that as a big J. So that's the extent of this reading. It kind of goes through working through some problems, some story problems, so that you can learn how to really use that formula. There's a nice summary there. And these review questions are actually what's going to be on the mini quiz that you will see after the couple of videos. So I would take note of that. There is going to be a story problem where you're going to have to calculate the kinetic energy, so make sure you can do that. The resources that I would like you to review are these two videos on kinetic energy. This one is from the professor at Bozeman, Montana, and he does a great job of talking about kinetic energy, talking about the kinetic energy formula. The video after that goes through how to calculate kinetic energy. So they actually write out the formula, they have an example problem, and they work through it, solving for the different variables. And this is the quiz that I was talking about, that the questions in this text actually appear in this review set of questions. There is an additional essay question, but if you've read all the material and understand it, you should be successful. Once again, for this quiz, you will need to know how to calculate kinetic energy. If you have any questions, feel free to reach me by email or remind, or join in to one of my Google Meets. Have a great weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.